My first question, way back to the end of the 1980s. Do you still speak to Ricky from The Office? Because I read somewhere that he managed Suede before you got a record deal.
Yeah, very early on. Yeah, I saw Ricky as he came to one of our shows a few years ago.
Okay.
Saw him then.
But you're not real good friends or something, or it's just.
I mean, when I see him out, it's always really nice to see him. I don't sort of like, you know, go for pints with him or anything like that, but I kind of know him, yeah.
Okay. And I was wondering, yeah, how good were the Pigs and Jeff? Because there were bands you played in previous to Suede. Were they any good?
How good were they?
Yeah?
Not very good, no. That's why you haven't heard anything of them, because it's everyone's first few bands are rubbish. It's part of the learning process of being in a band, really. So no, they weren't very good.
And the songs?
I can't even remember. It's such a long time ago. It's just kids playing around in bedrooms. It's not really. I don't really know why that's relevant. Why it's on that piece of paper. It's just like I don't know. It's just something that happened. It's like, you know, it's not really. You know, I can't even remember anything about it really.
Okay, and I was thinking.
It's sort of like it's part of my childhood, really. Not anything. You know, it's not. It's nothing. It wasn't like a proper professional band or anything. You know.
Okay, well, and now this new album. Is it for you some sort of natural way to go after Suede and the Tears? Because you have been working on your solo album now for a few years, I think.
Is it a natural way to go?
Yeah, for you now.
Yeah, it felt like the right record I wanted to make. It felt like this is what I wanted to do with the next stage of my career. Yeah. I didn't want to make another record within the kind of restrictive mechanism that is being in a band. I wanted to do something outside that and be a bit freer and not make a guitar-based rock record, make a kind of, well, whatever this is a sort of like a kind of string-based, sort of keyboard-based record with guitars in it sort of thing. But it's a subtle variation from that, but still it's enough of a variation for me to feel justified in thinking that the record is very different from what I've done before.
And when do you still recall the first time you thought, well, maybe I need to do something purely on my own now?
Yeah, very recently. It was never a kind of, you know, part of some long-term plan. I didn't sort of think back in the 90s that I wanted to be a solo artist. It was just something that happened. It happened pretty much because I had to finish Suede because I didn't feel as though it was going anywhere musically, and you know, when you feel as though you're at a creative dead end with something, it's impossible to carry on with it if you're in a band, unless you're going to want to be like a karaoke band and just playing your old hits around the world. It's kind of fairly pointless. I've never wanted to do that. I've always thought the point of being in a band is writing new material and writing new albums and going forward, not going backwards. And when I realised that we were at a dead end creatively, I thought, well, I've got to do something else now. And then I started this band, The Tears, which was a kind of project that I did with Bernard, who used to be in Suede, and we did that record and enjoyed making that record. And then I thought, well, I want to make a solo record now. It was just the next sort of like stage and things. It wasn't something that was premeditated. It was just something that happened.